Today I fucked up by fighting my school's dress code policy. Years later, I found out why it was so strict. So 15 years ago today I fucked up bad, and today I found out why. I was in high school, and our school had a pretty normal dress code policy until this new younger woman teacher started. 3 months into her being there, she brings out this extremely strict dress code policy, but only for girls. It was the start of summer. The building had no AC, and the new dress code limited girls to basically a frumpy t-shirt and baggy jeans, while boys could wear whatever we want. I, being a rebellious little fuck, did not like this. My girlfriend at the time was sad. Everyone had to go buy new clothes, and every day they didn't do it they got handed this ugly big brown t-shirt of shame that says, I was out of dress code, and these big brown sweats. It was extremely uncomfortable. So what did I do? I started wearing every band girl's article of clothing. I wore short shorts that barely hid my ass because it was allowed. I wore low-cut shirts. I cut the sides off every tank top, so it just showed my torso. I even wore a short skirt and a crop top one day to prove a point. I got away with it maybe twice before I started getting dress code violated every day. I was in every detention for several months. I got suspended. I had to go to 2 weeks of summer school that year as punishment. I fought the system very hard, and others joined in. It got me almost every dude was getting dress code violated to stand up for the girls. Anytime we got the brown clothes, we wore it with pride. It was damn hot in that building, you'd pour buckets of sweat. They should have been allowed to wear shorties. I made my list of demands. Girls can wear tank tops, they can wear shorts. They can wear 4 fingers low-cut t-shirts. We all fought for it, and eventually they caved in and gave it to us. I was so happy. It was a formative experience for me because I was willing to take any punishment, no matter how severe, to fight some perceived injustice. So I'm back in my hometown. It's a small suburb of the outskirts of a city. And at the one bar everyone goes to, I run into the teacher who forced the policy all those years ago. I go say hi, and she instantly remembered me. So I sat down with her and her friends, and we talked about it since it was so long ago, and now I'm at the age she was when she was enforcing it. Boy, did I get that situation wrong. So there were 4 particularly creepy male teachers at that time. 1 everyone knew about, and 3 that were only known by faculty. They were preying on the girls, taking random pictures of them, being extremely creepy, all sorts of inappropriate things they shouldn't have done. So she went to the board, brought evidence and reported them, but they decided not to investigate. She told the police, but when after a month nothing happened, she changed the dress code to protect the girls, but she couldn't explicitly state why she was doing it. Modern times caught up with those teachers, and they are now fired, but as an adult I see now that I ran a campaign to put the girls back in danger. TLDR, in high school I fought an oppressive dress code system because I thought it was unfair to the girls. But 15 years later I found out it was to protect the girls from pedo teachers. Added context. There's a couple questions about the logistics of how she enforced a dress code being so new. I'll try and give more details, but again it's 15 years ago, I may not get it exactly accurate. She was not the only teacher who wanted this, but she was the strongest voice to stand up for this. Basically, with the backing of several teachers, she convinced the principal to implement the dress code. A lot more than just dress code happened. Prom had the bright lights on that year, and girls got their dresses measured at the door. It was a full-scale push from a big section of teachers. But this particular teacher definitely was the one who championed it. These pervy men didn't exactly hide. The one we all knew about was actually a beloved and favorite teacher of the school because he was very funny. His policy, and I am not kidding, if you wore a low-cut shirt and bent over when turning in your exam, he would give you extra points on it. For fairness, he did this for guys too, so everyone in his class on test day effectively had their chest exposed. And we thought it was hilarious and saw nothing wrong with it because our older siblings all went through the same thing. I had to ask my mom to take me to buy my first low-cut shirt freshman year because of this class, and I explained why. It's genuinely crazy what you get away with if you're funny, well-liked, and don't act like anything is wrong. So when she came with a policy like this, she was just a few years ahead of her time. There was a serious issue. The dress code had slipped pretty bad. She and everyone who pushed the policy definitely overcorrected. Looking back, this was the logical finale to having several new eyes in an inappropriate school environment. I don't have enough characters to get into it. It's probably a whole other post on just my high school in that era's tea. But there was scandal after scandal that went unanswered and just became rumor. This really wasn't. You did what you could with the information given to you. But that school failed their students. They should just come out and tell the girls what is going on so they can protect themselves when the school won't help them. I can kind of see that it would also tarnish the not creepy male teachers, but would force the good teachers to make a stand against the creeps. That's still the right thing to do. Dress codes should be applied equally. And it sounded excessively restrictive, like shorts should be allowed. Good for the teacher trying to do something. But it was probably better to go public with the information instead of just secretly solving it by forcing a dress code on the girls. Fuck that school's administration for protecting child predators. It is beyond me why schools refuse to investigate and immediately fire those shits even when evidence is provided. You didn't fuck up at all. I love that you did that. The only fuck-ups here were the creeps and the feckless administrators who didn't fire their asses. I mean, you weren't wrong. It's shitty that girls end up being punished for the actions of grown men who know better. You didn't know the context, but without it, all you were seeing was girls being punished for no reason, while boys were given complete freedom in their choices. This is fiction. Today I fucked up by accidentally stripping in front of my workplace crush. I have never been so mortified in my life, and this is the only place I can talk about it. This literally happened 2 hours ago. I, 26F, live pretty close to my workplace, and I don't have a car, so I'm accustomed to walking to from work. It's been a pretty cold December here so far, had a snowstorm last week, we're still battling biting cold. And I'm not from somewhere where it snows this much, so I'm still getting used to dressing for this weather. Couple that with the fact that I have a crush on one of my co-workers, and that means I go through at least 3 wardrobe changes every morning before leaving the house. I'm not even embarrassed about admitting that, because what comes next is so much worse. The weather today was kind of weird, so I started out with an abundance of layers, and then decided to remove 1 or 2 before leaving the house. Got to my workplace without incident. Step in, and with the heat blasting I immediately start sweating. I go into my office, and my crush comes in to fill me in on a meeting that happened yesterday. I worked from home yesterday. I try to take in everything he's saying, while also shedding my layers. Heavy coat comes off. Scarf comes off. Heavy sweater comes off. Light jumper comes off. Earlier this morning, I started out with a t-shirt under my light jumper. That t-shirt was one of the layers I later decided to remove. All I have on under my light jumper is my bra. I do not realize this as quickly as I should, so I pull my light jumper almost off my shoulders before I go, why is my tummy cold? And realize my mistake. Immediately pull my light jumper down. My crush has gone silent, his eyes wide. He blinks at me. Then he blinks at the ceiling. The silence is loud. From this man's perspective, I walked into my office and then took off all my clothes. Oh my God, I say, I am so sorry. I thought I was wearing a t-shirt underneath this. I start nervous laughing. He is too scared to make a sound. He tells me he'll fill me in on the rest of the meeting later, and then leaves the room. I sink into my chair, bury my face in my hands, and try not to cry. Too long did not read. Forgot I wasn't wearing anything under my jumper, and almost took it off completely in front of my workplace crush. Then he left the room. He probably thinks I'm some kind of deviant now, and I want to cry, laugh, and quit. Update. Our team usually grabs lunch together on Wednesdays, so I decided to talk to him again before we went to lunch. I went into his office and asked if he had a minute. He said yes. He's generally an expressionless guy, and today was no exception, so my nerves built up. I said something like, "It was a genuine mistake. I didn't mean anything by it. I thought I was wearing a t-shirt underneath, but I wasn't." He said it's fine, and he totally understood. I said I'm sorry if I made him feel awkward. He said he didn't feel awkward. He said he'll see me at lunch. I left. I think things are better now, and he probably knows this will not be an HR concern, unless he decides to report me, which I doubt. I probably won't ask him out for a while now. We had vague plans to hang out on Sunday, our first hangout outside of work, so at some point I'll have to touch base and find out if he's still down for doing that. Also, for those wondering about the camera situation at work, there are no cameras in my office, but the door is see-through. Luckily none of our co-workers were around, so he was the only witness. LOL, thank God. On the plus side, if he sees this post, he also knows you have a crush on him. He's probably worried he'll be reported to HR. GIF, Giphy GZ6G2WQL0D1YUFVG downsized. I'm just here to say that I can't fucking believe that this name was still available as a throwaway. No numbers, no weird symbols, nothing. Just two words that actually go together. Miracles happen. I mean, you showed your bra to a guy. Not the end of the world. This guy is going to be too scared to ask you out now for fear of being accused of harassment. You're going to need to apologize again, then explain that while that really was an accident, you would actually like to go out with him. I bet he'll say yes. If he doesn't, you can move on with your life. Today I fucked up by discovering the hidden features of cough drops. Obligatory, this happened today, but the setup started Monday. I woke up with that classic sandpaper throat feeling, like I'd spent the night screaming into a pillow. I had work to do and zero interest in being that coworker who sounds like a dying accordion. So I grabbed a bag of cough drops and went about my day. At first, everything was great. Every time my throat felt scratchy, I popped another drop. Meeting? Drop. Phone call? Drop. Existing quietly at my desk? Definitely another drop. I didn't really think about how many I was having because, hey, they're just cough drops. Basically candy with a purpose, right? Fast forward to the afternoon, when my body decided to stage a hostile takeover. It started as a vague sense of unease, like my stomach was politely clearing its throat. Then it escalated into a full-blown emergency meeting with no agenda and no end time. I found myself sprinting to the bathroom with the kind of focus usually reserved for Olympic athletes. While sitting there questioning every life choice I've ever made, I did what any modern human does in a crisis. I Googled. That's when I learned that many cough drops contain sweeteners that have a laxative effect when used in excess. In excess. Which I absolutely had done. Repeatedly. With confidence. Too long did not read. Had a sore throat, used cough drops like candy, learned the hard way that in excess may cause laxative effects, is not just a suggestion. My guy never heard about the zero-sugar Haribos. Now your asshole has the cough. So you went from Logs Cody 94 to Softstall Cody 94. All shitting aside. Isn't this a thing most people learn/get warned about in their early teens? These stupid AI sensationalized slop posts really are a plague on the Reddits. Did it happen? Maybe. Did you write that? Nope. AI slop, to be honest. This is why I never get sugar-free things. You never know which one of them will have the WMD sugar in it. Today I fucked up by not fully preparing myself for how painful IUD insertion is. Obligatory, happened earlier this morning. Also on mobile. I, 24F, thought I fully knew how painful getting an IUD inserted could be, with doing lots of research, but nothing could have prepared me for it. Originally my appointment was supposed to be the last appointment of the day, so that I could just immediately go home after it and take off 3 hours of work. My GYN, of course, canceled my appointment again for the third or fourth time this year, so they squeezed me in with someone else around lunchtime. Otherwise it would be until February before I could get it. The appointment I also had was special since I was supposed to get my neck splanchn removed, get a PAP, and get the IUD inserted all in one go. Though now with the new person they couldn't do that PAP anymore since there wasn't enough time. I get a call from her nurse 20 minutes later asking if I wanted different prescriptions sent over, and I take them an hour before the appointment. I declined but stated I did want the lidocaine shot since I previously discussed it with my GYN. I should have taken those meds as well, but it is too late ADP. Though I did take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen an hour before, and I thought I would be semi-okay, but knew it'd still be in pain. I get there, and the neck splanchn removal went fine, but then it went downhill quick from there. I have issues with the speculum anyway since it is very painful for me, so as she's guiding me through all of this. And when she puts it in I'm immediately getting lightheaded all while trying to remember to breathe, but not too fast otherwise I will faint. My poor boyfriend, 24M, next to me is trying to help me with redirecting me to focus on him, and not the pain, but nothing works. She then does the lidocaine shot into my cervix where I start to whimper and tears roll down my face while I'm still trying to regulate my breathing. I should have assumed, but I didn't know that they would have to measure the length of my uterus, and OMG I wanted to throw myself out the window bare ass and all. It hurt so bad, and more tears just started falling while my boyfriend is trying to grip my hand harder and wipe the tears away. Then she finally put the IUD in, and the last wave of pain hit me, and she had to stop momentarily because I was crying and catching my breath to make sure I was doing okay, and if she needed to take it out. I give the okay, and then I finally get a little bit of relief when the speculum comes out. But that's not all. On the ride home, I'm trying to have my butt out of the seat as much as possible and not have the seatbelt pressing on me cause it hurts so bad. Then when I'm home, I have to have all the heated stuff on me and eat my Dunkin' bagel I bought hours earlier while I'm sobbing multiple times while in fetal position cause the cramping is hitting me with tsunami waves. I couldn't even fall asleep to help drown out the pain cause it was so often. It's currently now 5 hours later and I'm finally having very small cramps and I already took my second dose of ibuprofen. I hope next time when it comes out I can advocate for myself to be fully knocked out and get better meds cause ibuprofen didn't even touch the pain. Too long did not read. Uneasy face. Thought I knew how painful getting an IUD would be. I severely underestimated it and fully regretted not getting better pain meds when I knew I had issues even with a speculum being inserted. Sobbed multiple times and now I'm cuddled up in multiple heated blankets. I've never been offered any meds whatsoever, nor the lidocaine for an IUD insertion. They always just tell me to take ibuprofen. I went to the ER the evening after my first IUD insertion. I was in so much pain I thought I was dying. I don't know why doctors don't listen when we tell them it's excruciating. I'm so sorry you had to go through all that. It's wild how little people talk about how intense IUD insertions can actually be. You weren't being dramatic at all, your pain was real and valid. Hoping you're getting some rest and relief now. And yeah, absolutely advocate for sedation or stronger meds next time. You deserve care that actually respects what your body needs. I know this feeling and empathize. Growing heart. When I had mine done, I thought I was going to be able to go work right after Nope. On the upside, it's giving me 8 free years, so a couple painful days is a price I'm willing to pay. Gentle hugs, and make sure to speak to your doc if the pain doesn't settle tomorrow or the next day. So sorry, darling. This isn't a today I fucked up by any measure. I went through the same ordeal of insertion, and I actually fainted. The pain is indescribable. It's terrible they still don't give us actual sedation for this. Sorry you had to experience this, and I hope the IUD works out for you. If it's any consolation, the removal felt like a little pinch. Now take some ibuprofen, get under a nice warm blanket with some snacks and relax. It's horrific the amount of pain women are subject to. I've been through this and I completely understand. I'm still traumatized from it, and that was almost 2 decades ago. I refuse to even do pap smears now. If a man had to deal with something this extreme, there would be an anesthesiologist and a prescription for 6 months of oxy.